Hey everybody, I want to do a video review on a new case I just got from my Samsung Galaxy S4. This case is called the LoveMe Powerful. Got this from eBay for 32 bucks shipped a couple of weeks ago. I'll do a quick review on it, tell you what I think. First of all, here's the case itself. So if you compare it to the phone, here's the phone. If you put this over the case, you can see how wider it is compared to the phone. And if you look at the side, you can see how much thicker it is, okay? In terms of weight wise, this case weighs actually more than the phone. So if you imagine now you put the phone in the side of the case, how heavy this case becomes. And I can tell you it is a very heavy case, probably the heaviest case I've ever felt. But that's not a bad thing, because this phone is so lightweight, it's so small, I feel like if I drop it, it's going to break, which most likely it's going to. But with this thing, pretty much bomb proof, okay? So I'm going to put this phone inside the case and kind of give you some positives and negatives, okay? So let's start by doing that. It comes in multiple colors, yellow, silver, white, black, red, and I think those are the colors, okay? So there's three pieces of this phone. The front piece is Gorilla Glass, is what they say. I can confirm it is glass, it's not plastic. Very clear also, one of the best thing about this case. The middle piece is rubber. One thing I like about this rubber, it is very thick. It's got the really thick side, thick bumpers on the corners, so it's going to do a very good job of absorbing any impact of this, the phone being dropped. The only thing I do not like about this is the back. It's got the lens cover here, which is not glass. It is actually plastic. Same with the flash cover. It's made out of plastic. I tried wiping it off with the tissue, had some fingerprints on there, the lens popped right off. So I was able to put it back on. It's just held together by the grooves inside the rubber here, so not very well designed in my opinion. They could have glued this thing on or something. But on top here is obviously the earphone jack cover. In the back, it's got the earphone protector right, or I'm sorry, the speaker protector right there. Otherwise, it's metal. So let's go ahead and put the phone inside the case here. I've done this quite a few times. It's very, very easy. It doesn't take you very long. Use this include wipe here to make sure that all the fingerprints are off. Make sure that those screws line up. Put the front case back on. They give you this little wrench here to install the screws along with the hex wrench. This is more useful. The 6 screws that you can use to fasten down the screen. They tell you not to over tighten, and so if you're going to plan on removing the screen a lot, obviously you need to bring this tool with you. Okay, I don't plan on doing that, so the screws basically stays at all time. Again, do not tighten too much or else you are going to basically strip out the holes. 6 screws shouldn't take you more than 45 seconds to put on the case or remove the case in any case. Okay, a couple more to go here. You can see, very easy to do. And then that is it. It's done. Okay, so you can see in my hand it is very solid, thick, heavy. Let's test out some of the buttons. The power buttons actually work real well. I mean, very responsive. Whoops, the wrong thing there. Okay, another thing I like about it is the volume button, also very responsive, as you can see. Don't have to even press that hard. Home button, very easy. Okay, the 2 buttons are a little harder, which is why the capacitor buttons underneath, the backwards button and the menu button, a little harder to press. So if you press it, you can see it goes back. So these 2 buttons are a little harder. Okay, on the bottom there's a USB port. It comes out by a little rubber grommet here. It exposes the USB charging port. Some people have claimed that this is very easy to tear off. I don't see it that way. I've used this phone for 2 weeks. I charge every night. No problem taking it in and out. Also on the bottom is the microphone cover. Now this, it did actually have a grommet inside it, and I removed it because people couldn't hear me very well. It was very soft sounding, so I removed it, which means there's a hole in there. Water could get in and damage it. On top, you can see this is the headphone cover. Does a very good job of protecting that area. And then up here you got the IR blaster. There's a hole in there. There's also a hole over the proximity sensor for some reason. I did a test when I first got this case. I put a couple of tissues inside the case, sealed it up, put it in the water, Within 10 seconds I pulled it out because I figured that's how long, you know, your phone will drop in the water before you can yank it out. I found that the top quarter of the screen, not the screen but the tissue, were moist. They didn't get soaking wet, but it was moist due to water seeping into the proximity hole, I'm guessing, and also the IR blaster. Being that the grommet down here was still there, I didn't see any of the bottom portion of the tissue being wet. Okay, so bottom line is, it is not a waterproof case. I mean, obviously you could probably hold it in the rain for a little bit, but obviously submerged in the water, it's probably going to be ruined. Okay, one thing I really like I said, is the screen, the swiping. My friends tested this phone, they held it in their hands a couple weeks ago, made fun of the name, obviously, Love May, made fun of the fact that it's so big, it's almost like the Hummer of cell phone cases. But when I told them that this is not the screen, they couldn't believe it. They thought that this is actually the phone screen itself. But what I told them is I actually have a screen protector over my S4, and then of course on top of that is the Gorilla Glass. So they were really amazed, and you can see the swiping, there's no problem whatsoever. Now there is a problem that I did find, is the notification swipe down. Now unless you have skinny fingers, which I do, it's very hard. You can see, there you go, it worked for me just fine. But those with bigger fingers, you may find that it'll be hard to swipe down. One thing that was difficult for me was when I went to contacts. As you can see here, let's pull up my contact list, and you can see the A, B, C, D all the way through Z. Let's say you had 2,000 contacts or 1,000 contacts and you want to get to R. It's very hard to press the letter R because the frame sticks up a little bit. Okay, so very hard to do. I'm not able to do it, so unfortunately I have to just do the manual scroll. Okay, so that's the only thing that I kind of didn't like about the touching part of the thing here. But otherwise, it's a very solid case. I would probably rate it a 7.5 out of 10. Call quality was good after I removed the grommet on the bottom. You can barely hear though. Up here they have something covering up the front side here, so you got to turn it up max, and then even then you may not be able to hear that loud. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this this front area yet. Might have to remove that part. In terms of signal loss through this case, I did not see any loss right now. It's at 4G. It's got 2 bars. If I remove the phone from the case, which I have done, it's still 4G, 2 bars. So it did not go down at all. So the jury's still out on that. NFC and all the other things, I have not really tested it, so I can't say 100% sure if it works or not. But so far, like I said, I really like this case. It is definitely a huge brick. Could be used as a weapon, I think. But you're not going to worry about a phone breaking in here. And obviously one of the reasons is because the phone itself is encased in rubber, and then you have the 2 metal edge on the side. So in terms of impacting, if you hit the side, obviously the jolt is going to go through the frame, the metal, and not the phone itself. Okay, but if you have a rubber case or a standard case, if you hit it, the jolt, the impact, the shock is going to go through the phone. And so I think this one has a huge advantage over the other ones. So in terms of protection wise, I would have to say, in my opinion, it's got to be one of the best, if not the best protective case against drops out there. Okay, but anyways, I hope you enjoy the video, and leave me any comments if you want. Okay, thanks.